Hey guys, Auspicious Aussie here, and welcome to episode 73 of the Berlin Dynamo series. Now, today's episode, as you can see, we're going to be taking on Atletico Madrid, and then we're also going to be taking on Eintracht Frankfurt in the league. League table at the moment, we sit pretty good, I would imagine. We're in 6th place at the moment. We're just above Schalke by 2 points. Schalke's had really bad run of form. We've actually contributed to that bad run of form. But then we're only 3 points behind Gladbach at the moment. And then we're 5 points behind Dortmund, who are in 4th place. Realistically, I think this season I want to be trying to clinch 4th place at a minimum. That's sort of the goal that I'm pushing towards. Albeit, I'd still be pretty happy with top 7. Europa League, Conference League, still really good. Obviously, the money associated with them compared to the Champions League is very different. Therefore, I think our goal should be to try and press for that Champions League spot as far as the league is concerned. Anyway, we are in January. We're on the 30th of January, so the transfer window is about to shut. I didn't want to miss this game because this game here against Atletico is our last Champions League phase game. Very important. I'll show you the league phase at the moment. We currently sit in 15th place. A loss today could essentially put us out of the knockout rounds. So today's result is massive. As you can see, Atletico, they're only on 5 points. They're having a bit of a bad Champions League campaign. We're having a pretty good one. Considering this is the first time we've actually been in the Champions League, the fact that we're in 15th place, and we also spent a good chunk of time in the top 8, I'm pretty proud with how we've done. I think we've achieved our goals, gave a pretty good account of ourselves. However, I would love to make the knockout rounds. Another thing I've noticed that I'm not exactly too happy with, you look at the top 8. There's 5 English clubs there, and obviously Real Madrid and Barcelona. The only other team at the top is AC Milan. And all the German teams, including Bayern Munich, are in 11th place and below. We are 1 point behind Bayern Munich. Luckily for us, that they've already qualified, which is good for German football, as it is. But you look further down, 13th Leipzig, 14th Freiburg, 15th ourselves, and then you have to go all the way down into, 32nd place, all the way down there at the bottom, and that's Mainz. It's looking pretty rough. Anyway, one other thing I want to go over, transfers. Mentioned it before. Unfortunately, as you can see, Pavicic has a current contract offer. His contract is running out. I've tried to sell him. I tried to pretty much do everything I can to get him out of the club. He's had that 3-month injury. I've replaced him already, which is sad. But ultimately, I'm not going to be paying him 40,000 per week. I don't think he's worth 40k, albeit he's been an absolute, I would say a club favourite minimum. We can go and check that here in a second. But we signed him into Bundesliga. The second time round, we got promoted. And, I mean, realistically, every season since then, he's sort of degressed, really. I mean, you could say he did pretty well in this season here. 7.17. This season he's done really well. 7.25. It's his best he's actually performed. But I don't think he's good enough to be winning us the Champions League or the Bundesliga. So with that said, we are going to most likely lose him. He doesn't want to speak contracts with me at the moment. But like I said, I did replace him. And we replaced him with this guy here. Max Strabic, another Croatian. He's only 21, so got a little bit of potential left, as you can see. 3-star current ability, possibly 4.5 potential ability there as well. Got a little bit more pace, a little bit less pace, but a little bit more technical quality, which I really like. Again, he's not exactly an inside forward per se, albeit, he does have the stats to play there essentially. But he's also got really good crossing. With a right foot, might be a bit of a danger cutting in and then crossing on that right-hand side. So I like that. As you can see, he does also have the player trait cuts in from right wing, so it does mean he's probably more suited to actually playing as an inverted winger or an inside forward. So I like that. He's only young, 7 caps already for the Croatian national team with 2 goals. The guy's he's going to be an assist maker. He's going to be a goal scorer, and he's going to develop even further. We signed him for 5.75 million. Not all of it up front. I think it was only at 1.5 mil up front. But I wanted to get this guy into the club. Hasn't played too well so far. But we're going to give him a little bit more time to adjust to the squad, and hopefully come next season he'll be ready and be firing on all cylinders. Just to show you his actual scout report, you can go back into it here real quick because we also have another player to go over. He has a pretty good scout report as well. So he's a consistent performer, fits well with the squad, obviously can improve a lot. He's a little bit susceptible to injuries, which I don't really like because Pavicic has also been fairly susceptible to injuries as well, which, you know, you're trying to get a better player in that position. He's arguably, he's going to be out just as much. That's what I'm gathering from that, which is unfortunate. But he's a better player, in theory. So, and the other player we brought in was Sata. He comes in from Colombian team Nacional. Free transfer, just a really solid sort of defensive player. I'm going to play him in defensive midfield for now. I like the look of him. 40k per week is very steep, but at the same time, he's a left-footed defender, can play at centre-back, which I do like, can play in midfield, which I also like. 23 caps there at 25 years old. He's pretty good. He's good. I don't know if he's worth the wages, but to get him into the club on a free transfer, I was going to have to pay for him, and we did that. So very happy with that. Players out. We got rid of a few players. De Jong went to FC Seoul for 17,000 up to 32,000. Jakobsen left for Werder Bremen for 550,000. Jason Legg left for FC Cologne for 1.5 mil, which is a good little bit of business. Langfell left for Benfica for 2.5. A little bit cheap, in my opinion, for Langfell. He had a bit of interest from both Benfica and Porto. So there you go. 2.5 mil. A little bit on the low side. And finally, Senhaji went to Reims for 350,000 as well. Just to free up a bit of midfield place for the new player that we just brought in. So there you go. Balance still looking pretty good. We are over the wage budget by about 28,000 or so, which is not ideal either. But let's get into it. Let's get into the team. We are tired. We are fatigued. Actually, before we get into the team, recent fixtures. So, the last episode you guys saw was the loss in the DFB Pokal third round and the victory over Wolfsburg, the 3-1 win. Of course, we then had the winter break. Went on a tour of Portugal, training camp in Portugal, beat Estoril Praia 2-1, beat Sporting 3-2, and then beat Benfica B team 3-1. We then returned back to Bundesliga action with a 4-1 victory over Schalke. Like I said, this was sort of the start or the second game of their bad form. Gel opened the scoring. They got a penalty back in the 47th minute, first half. Gel then got another 2 goals, and finally Perez put away a penalty. They also missed a second penalty themselves. Good win there. Unfortunately, we lost 2-0 to Bayer Leverkusen. Unfortunate. Again, 3 shots on target. Melges with a bad game, conceding 2 goals from 3 shots on target. Couldn't really get anything going ourselves. We then got absolutely smashed by Chelsea, as expected. Felipe, Uidrago, and Alaba getting on the score sheet. Just to put it into perspective, this is Alaba. 26-year-old Nigerian, absolute world-class player. I know it doesn't say world-class, but he's valued between 287 and 350 million. He's world-class. And he beat us, along with the rest of the highly priced Chelsea team. And then we returned back to league action, getting a nice little 1-0 win in the Berlin Derby against Union. Pretty happy with this win, to be honest. Adidas Saikan, none of the strikers, none of the attacking players could get the breakthrough. And then it's the big centre back with a nice little shot outside the box to get us all 3 points there. Very happy with that one. Anyway, like I said, today's lineup, we're very fatigued. Adidas, I can. He needs to be rested, but like I said, this game's probably too important to rest any of our big players. So Meljez in goals, Nagtagal. I mean, it's the same back line. I do actually have Dimitriev, sorry. He is going to play left back today. He's now a natural defensive mid, which is really good. But he's needed here for cover, and that is because I am having big problems with Champions League squad registration. I've only got a 19-man squad for the Champions League at the moment. So it's very difficult. Anyway, we've got Sata partnering Dusak today as our defensive mids. Strabic coming in on the right-hand side, Dukic on the left-hand side. And then as per usual, Perez and Gel up front. Also worth mentioning, we've currently got the Asian Games. I believe they're the Asian Games. Asian Cup, sorry. So Gavadel and Ramadi are both away with Iran. And they're actually doing quite well in the Asian Cup. So that's unfortunate. We're going to be without them for at least sort of a month to 6 weeks, potentially 5 weeks is how long the Asian Cup goes for. They might win it because they've got some decent players, Iran. Anyway, bench today, as you can see, we're very, very thin. I don't like it, but it is what it is. And we're going to have to go out there and try and beat Atletico Madrid. It's going to be a tough one. We are at home, though, so I do like that. I think it's slightly beneficial for us, I guess. Even though technically we're not actually at our actual home ground due to renovations. Anyway, here we go. Atletico Madrid, they're doing pretty badly at the moment. I think they've only won 1 game so far in 7. And, I mean, we started pretty well with the Champions League, but I think the last, 2 games prior to this one have not been so good. Anyway, Atletico coming forward here. Hopefully we can win the ball. They're moving the ball very nicely. A little bit of space on this right-hand side. Hojlund. Is it Hoyland or Hojlund? I think it's Hoyland, but I don't know. I'm not very good with my pronunciation. I'm glad he's actually taking the corner and not in the box for it. He's a pretty good striker on Football Manager, you have to admit. Maybe not so much in real life, but I wonder if a draw would be enough. It potentially might be enough to keep us in the top 24 and advance us into the knockout rounds. Didn't really think about that. I kind of felt like this is like a must-win game in my mind. Now, the more I think about it, I think a draw would actually be quite secure. Anyway, I want to win every game. I want to beat Atletico. I think it would go a long way to making a statement for the Champions League. Anyway, it does finish 1-1 for the first half. I'm going to say I'm a little bit disappointed. Wish we had more possession. I have to admit, Gel and Perez have both been a bit quiet recently. The last sort of 3 games. I mean, you saw it. We didn't score against Leverkusen. We didn't score against Chelsea. And then our centre-back scored against Union Berlin. Gel almost getting on the score sheet there. He's going to be offside. But he did shoot it straight at the goalkeeper anyway. I was going to say, let's make some subs, but we literally have 1 sub that we can pretty much bring on to make a difference. And that's Bednarek. So we'll bring him on, see if he can do anything. Give him a little bit of encouragement out there as well. We're losing the possession battle, which is to be expected. They've got a very sort of compact midfield, wing backs, defensive mid, and then 2 centre midfielders. I mean, time's ticking away. Gonna demand a bit more out of him. Gel's picked up an injury. I'm gonna have to just leave him out there, to be honest. Atletico's free kick goes over the bar. They've made a triple change as well. And that's all she wrote. Hopefully that's enough. It's a 0-0 draw against Atletico Madrid. Very sort of even stats-wise. Slightly higher XG. More corners, more fouls as well. I'm going to praise him for the draw. At the end of the day, it's Atletico. And as you can see, I mean, not every team has played yet, so we'll have to wait and see a little bit longer. But there you go. We have secured a Champions League playoff spot, which essentially means we're going into the first knockout round. We also get a nice 800,000 for a draw against Atletico as well. I don't think we're going to do anything sort of transfer-wise to finish off the window. I might do it off camera here, just potentially looking for a loan signing. I sort of do it every transfer window and just see who's sort of available. Always like to look through these as well. He looks very good. He might be the one I go for. I mean, Schalke want him for a transfer. I want him on loan. He looks very good. He looks like a very, very good centre-back as well. Probably out of our price range, even if we had some budget about us. Hopefully he stays there, because that could be one for the future. Who's after Aponza? Braunschweig. It said Mainz. Interesting. Apparently we're after Johan Fries. I don't think so. Anyway, I'll join you guys back for the lineup against Frankfurt. Alright, so let's get into the lineup here. Hopefully we can get a win here against Frankfurt. That'd be pretty good. We're back to a full lineup, a full bench, which is good. I'm pretty much just going to go with the exact same team, to be honest. I mean, I've got Montero that I could essentially play at left back instead of Dmitriev, but I mean, he's playing worse than Dmitriev, so I think I'd rather just stick with Sata and Dusak and then have Dmitriev at left back. And we'll just go with that. I mean, like I said, we're missing a few players. It's hard, especially at the back. We don't have a lot of cover. Just going to tell the players to go out there and have some fun. Honestly, Frankfurt, they're a good side. It's going to be a tough game. I think we can obviously beat them. I know for a fact that we can beat them. We just have to play our best, which we haven't really been playing recently, which is unfortunate. We've become very stagnant, I think is probably a good word to use when it comes to the team, especially the attackers at the moment. Whatever that was can piss right off, because that is absolutely ridiculous. Oh my god. That was atrocious. Also, this 5 at the back is starting to piss me off a little bit, because we seem to struggle against it. And that's an unmarked shot, and they've hit the post for a second time now. Perez is going to break away, but I don't think he might do something. Sata, ooh, nice block shot. And Dukic just over the bar. Thought Gel was going to be in behind there for a second. Dukic in the box. Straight at the goalkeeper. That's what I'm talking about. It's very stagnant. Very... The finishing is just not there. It's non-existent almost at this point. From the attackers. Strabic with a corner. Dusak, it's going to go over the crossbar. Unfortunate yet again. I'll encourage him for the last few minutes of the first half here. Yeah, I guess the 5 at the backs, it's just hard to break down. That's what I'm going to put it down to anyway. All right, we go in 0-0. Hopefully we can come out the second half here and have a much better performance. Going to be Dukic. Free kick. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Exhibit A. You know, at the start of the season, I would put a bit of money on him actually getting that free kick. All right, Nagtagal goes back to Idetis again. Sata to Puljic. Got Dmitriev. Dukic. Terrible touch. Absolutely dreadful touch. Puljic gets back there. Good cover. Idetis again. Up to Nagtagal. Bit of space for him as well. Good cross. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. All right, what have we got? The thing is, we don't really have a striker on the bench. I essentially sold all of my strikers in January. And now, all of a sudden, Gel and Perez are just not playing too good. All right, we're going to go double change. Strabic and Gel are coming off. And we're going to go with Bednarek and Aponza. Just as the inside forwards, Dukic is going to go up top as the striker. Hopefully he can do something here today. He's got good finishing. Doesn't have much pace about him, but I have a bit of faith that he can get us a goal here today. Puljic up to Aponza. Very dangerous. That's an own goal. My strikers can't even score. It's got to be the other team's defenders putting it in the back of their own net. That is ridiculous. I'll take it. I'll take it. But that is ridiculous. All right. Frankfurt are coming forward here. A little bit nervous in the box as well. And that's a tap in. Easy tap in there. 1-1. Where are we going to get this goal from? That's the question. We've only had one shot on damn target for the whole game. Super frustrating. Dukic. Aponza. Bednarek's put it in the back of the net. Is he onside? I don't think he is. Please be onside. Yes! We needed that. We need that. Come on, boys. Nagtagal. Still Nagtagal. Goes to Bednarek. Dusak in the box. Pons is pretty short. Going to go all the way out to Dmitriev. Adidas Sycan's picked up an injury here as well. Bit of a knock. We'll go with Padaruth. And then I'm going to ease... Do I ease him off? Nah, we're going to go Regragui on for Sata. He's playing terribly on a yellow card. No, thank you. Aponza with the corner. An easy one for the goalkeeper. That's frustrating. Puljic on a 6-5 as well. Don't like that. I think he's probably at fault for the tap-in. But that's full time. We get a 2-1 victory there against Frankfurt. Very, very lucky. Very lucky. The wide players absolutely saving our backside there. And look at that for substitutions. Aponza and Bednarek. Aponza with the assist, 7.8. Bednarek with the goal, 7.5. Just saying. Substitution king right here. Right here. Anyway, that's a good way to end the episode. We didn't lose, so I'm very happy with that. As far as the transfers go, didn't do anything. There was actually a noticeable transfer, and that was, let me go back. So Bayern Munich signed RB Leipzig's beastly striker, Andreas Frontzek. They signed him for 106 million from Leipzig, who obviously signed him a few seasons ago from Freiburg. He's a player. He's quite the player. Definitely a decent player there. Anyways, the draw hasn't been made yet for the Champions League, so we'll probably have to wait and see how that goes, because I think I'd like to bring that next game for you guys to watch and to view. I think it'd be pretty exciting. Anyway, we're still in 6th place in the league. I like it. And we're sort of 2 points ahead of Schalke, and we're sort of remaining 2 points ahead. Worth mentioning, we've got an 8-point gap on Leverkusen at the moment, which I really like. I think that's a really good position to be in. Because like I said, I want to get European football, even if it's a conference league. I want to be able to get that reputation increase. Also worth mentioning, all those South American players that were really good, the sort of elite level players, they were all signed in January. So the players that I wanted to bring in at the start of this season are pretty much now all at good clubs and valued at 50 to 60 million a piece. So it's going to be very difficult to find that level of player come next season. Anyway, it is what it is. Enjoy the episode. Smash a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Apart from that, take it easy and goodbye.